and welcome back to one of our seldom film writing vlogs. My name is Sheena Perrell. I'm an author and knitwear designer from the Pacific Northwest, and I am working on editing a book right now. So let me turn you around so you can see my setup here. So I have some dual screen action going, and on this screen I have the current draft of a cozy mystery that I'm working on, and that draft is about 20,000 words short of where I want it to be. So what I'm doing is I am rewriting the whole thing word for word onto this screen and adding some length to it. So the reason I'm doing this is a type of editing that I don't do very often, just because, as it probably sounds like, it is very labor intensive, but it is very effective when you need to either cut words or add words and you're not sure where to place them, because as I'm rewriting everything, I'm getting a better flow for the story and I'm not trying to shoehorn things in. The flow comes more naturally and it sounds better. It's a lot easier to add or remove things when I'm writing it, rather than going back and just rereading it and trying to identify points where I can rewrite things. So it is very time intensive. I'm up to chapter 4 right now, and I still have, because this is a first draft, my first drafts are usually 13 chapters. So I still have about 8.5 chapters to go after this, but I'm almost done with chapter 14. And if you haven't been watching my regular podcast, Spooky Stitches, I'll put a playlist up here. I'm working for a temp agency right now, and my current contract is ending on Tuesday. Today is Sunday, so I only have 2 more days left. So what I've done is made an unemployment calendar for myself and what kind of routines and tasks I want to do each day. Now, I also have chronic illnesses which severely limit my energy levels and my productivity. So what I've done is I've taken all the things that I want to do each day, blocked it out by time, and then I've highlighted 3 or 4 things each day that are my must-dos that I really want to get done each day. Also, my wife currently works from home, but she is on a Sunday through Wednesday schedule. So instead of giving myself Saturdays and Sundays off, I've given myself Thursdays and Fridays off to match her schedule. And I will insert a screen capture of what my calendar looks like right here. And what I'm using for all of this planning, at least on the digital side, is I'm using I'm using OneNote, which is just like a free Microsoft program. If you have Microsoft Office, it comes on your computer. So I know a lot of people like to use Notion. I've never really gotten the hang of Notion. I prefer to just use what's already on my computer, so that way I don't need to have internet access to get to it. And this way it syncs with my phone. So I'm using Notion. Sorry, I keep getting them mixed up. I'm using OneNote to do all of my planning and scheduling for while I'm unemployed, just to help me stay on target so that I don't become a slug while I don't have a paycheck. And this will also hopefully help me get a little bit of side income while I'm relying on unemployment. So I think that it is time to get started. I've been having some problems with insomnia lately, so the last couple of days have been bad fatigue days for me. So what I'm going to do is I want to try and finish chapter 4 today and then see where we go from there. I did do some copywriting tasks this morning, which I'll also include in this vlog going forward. But I've already done those tasks for today, so I'm not going to go back and do more. But anyway, let's get started. Good morning. I just woke up. I don't particularly want to be up at this point, but I'm still technically working today. It is Tuesday. It is Halloween. Happy Halloween. Um, Technically, I'm still working, but it's my last day working, so I've already handed over all of my tasks. I'm just here in case the new person has questions. So I'm working from home this morning, and then this afternoon I have to go in so I can drop off my laptop. But because all of my tasks have been handed over, I don't really have anything work-like to do. So I'm gonna do some writing this morning. So this is what I have on the docket. The highlighted things for each day are the things that I really want to get done. So I'm gonna do some job applications and try to do some promotional stuff for social media, put together some Instagram posts. I have some reels that I want to do. And then I'm going to get started on content writing. And my content writing task that I have on that calendar, that can be writing blog posts, it can be prepping stuff to post to Medium or LinkedIn, just anything for writing for the internet, like short form content. So I'm trying to use that to promote my name and my work. I'll see how it goes. I've only been doing that for about 2 weeks, so I don't know how successful it's going to be. But finding other outlets that I can write for, because I also found out like a week and a half ago that one of the places that I've been writing for and been wanting to write for is closing. So that's unfortunate. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm not going to record me actually sitting down at the computer because I am still sitting on my bed and there is no good place to put you at the moment. Like, you will not have a good angle. So I will check back in a little while. When the question is which stitch, the answer is always yes. Okay, so it is Wednesday. It is my first day without my previous job. And let me put this on a tripod so we can chat for a second. Okay, that's a little bit better. So I have news. It is not all like definitive news. It's not all news relating to me, but I wanted to chat about it for a second. So first of all, like I said, today is my first unemployed day because I am a temp and I'm between assignments. However, I got a call today. My name is being put forward for another position, so I will find out on Friday if I'm actually applying for unemployment or it's called standby when you're in between assignments, or what's going on with that. Unfortunately, it does mean taking a pay cut, but it means being employed and making more than unemployment would pay me, which is important because unemployment only pays you 50% of what you made before, which means they pay less than minimum wage. So if you thought it was hard making a living on a minimum wage position, try doing it when you're unemployed. Second thing is I was just poking around on Ravelry, and I have now heard of 3 different knitting publications that are ceasing or altering publication in the last month, 2 of them today. So if you're not aware, Vogue Knitting is ceasing publication. Their last issue was their last issue. Pom Pom Quarterly is ceasing publication as of January. That will be their last edition. And Interweave Press announced yesterday that their magazines are going to digital only in the future, which is really unfortunate because number one, I love magazines. I've always wanted to write for a magazine, to run a magazine, but that is three markets that are now closed to me as someone who writes primarily about history and knitting. So that is impacting how I go forward with my copywriting. And that means that I need to pivot and come up with some new markets and some new stuff to talk about. Problem is that I am autistic, and two of my main hyper focuses are history and textiles. So there aren't a lot of history outlets out there that pay you to write about history. And now there's even fewer places that pay you to write about textiles. So I need to figure out something more marketable that I can write about. So my plans for today, I've been watching some YouTube videos. I have a mix of stuff on my YouTube, so it's not just like entertainment killing time type stuff. I also watch a lot of educational content about marketing, about my niches, about writing, all that kind of stuff. So I've been doing a little bit of research on that, and I'm trying to figure out how I can improve the marketing of my own books, because I do have a backlist of 10 novels that if I could get the sales up on that, that would give me a good passive income source, and I wouldn't have to be so stressed about finding my next job, finding the next place that I can write for. But the one thing that I'm really bad at is marketing myself. I'm algorithmically invisible. You can check the number of views on this video to confirm. But I've followed all the tips on like tags and, doing the different things to make yourself more appealing to the algorithm. And it doesn't matter what the source is, if it's Amazon, Twitter, Threads, Instagram, YouTube, I am totally invisible. So I don't know what to do on that. If I did show up on your For You page or your recommendations, or if you're subscribed, please interact with this video in some way, because it would really help me out. So like, comment, subscribe, all of that, share it on your social media, something along those lines. So anyway, back to today. I'm kind of taking it easy today because it is my first day without a job. So in a way it's kind of celebratory, like, the stress from that position is over. I'm starting fresh. I'm catching my breath. And also when I'm between assignments, I reset my schedule to match with my partners. So Ash has Thursdays and Fridays off. So I will take Thursdays and Fridays as my weekends where I don't get up with an alarm and I don't stress about things to do. And then I go back to a normal working schedule on Saturdays. So I'm kind of taking a couple of days off to be easy on myself. I did a couple of blog posts yesterday. I think for today, what I want to do the next chapter of edits of my rewrite for my current whip. And then I want to take a past blog post and convert that for Medium and Indeed so that I can get my name out there a little bit more. And then I'm really missing having a writing community. I had a really good writing community back in Ohio, and then I moved out here right before NaNoWriMo. I was super excited about it, and then the pandemic hit. And it's just been really hard to find a new group of writers to hang out with. And I was just on our library website. I'm not really finding anything there. I can't even work or do a talk or anything at that library because I'm self-published. And a lot of libraries believe that self-published works lack literary merit, which is what I got from my old library back in Ohio as well. So I'm just kind of stuck, and I'm going to take today to brainstorm and, like I said, work on that pivot and figure out where I go from here. Um, One of the reasons why I haven't been producing much in the last year is because there have been so many changes to the publishing industry in the last year. We had the Simon and Schuster merger, which failed. We had a lot of discussion about AI and wages. There was the writer's strike. It's just been a lot. There have been a lot of publishers closing. There were agencies that just dumped half their client list with no warning or suddenly fired all of their employees. So it's just been a lot going on. And 2023 was a really hard year to be a writer, especially if you're not one of the like major writers like Stephen King or somebody who has a huge following. So I need to brainstorm. And if you have any suggestions for me, I would love to hear them down below because I've been doing this for a long time and I've pretty much run out of ideas at this point. Like, I don't know what else I can do to promote my work and build a career out of this at this point. Um, I did all the things I was supposed to do, and none of them worked. So, my goal for 2024 is just to limit my focus and concentrate on the things that I can control, save up some money to work with more outside help because I'm at the point now with my chronic illnesses where I can no longer do all the work myself. Which is really difficult because I'm also working with pretty much a zero budget. Because, like I said, I work for a temp agency. I can save up a little bit in between, but this has been a hard year. Ash took 2 different leaves of absence, one for surgery and then another extended one because of her mental health. Um, we had 5 people we knew die in 5 weeks, which was really difficult. Um, and fortunately, she's in a position where she can do that. I am not. Um, and then I also have, the diagnosis of chronic fatigue syndrome hanging over me now. So, like, do I try to get disability accommodations? I don't know. Um, but I'm at that point now where I'm having such a hard time finding outside work that I'm considering applying for disability income just because it's been so hard. But we also live in one of the most expensive parts of the country. So, can we afford to do that? Can I afford to give up working outside the home, even though it is incredibly hard for me to do that? One of the reasons why I stopped working in downtown Seattle is because I was falling asleep on the bus every day and it was not safe. But doing the hour commute on my own in the car was also not safe because that is so exhausting and stressful for me. And I felt safer doing it on the bus, but I also can't, sleep past my stop. Or what if I fell asleep and somebody steals my bag or something? Um, so it's just a lot of concerns and a lot of moving parts that have to be considered. So that's where we are for today. Not a particularly cheerful good morning. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to enjoy my hot chocolate in my new Stitch mug. Because did I need another mug? Absolutely not. But it's Stitch. And he has a little hat. And it's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen. And right now I'm clinging to anything that makes me happy, like mugs with hats and cats and sweaters. So that's where we are. Okay, change of plans. It is time for the usual car vlog. I got more news yesterday. So the job that I was being recommended for, I did end up being selected. And as long as all of my paperwork and my background check and everything goes through on time, which it should, then I'm starting on Monday. So I'm gonna end this vlog on Sunday night. So it's a very short unemployment vlog. So I need to run out to Target. We need some groceries. And I also just need to pick up like things I can take for lunch at work because my first week is going to be on site. And since the grocery store is right across the street, I'm going to stop at Michael's and Joann's for their post-Halloween sales and see what I can find. Hopefully they still have some stuff left. Hopefully it is marked down to decent prices because the Michael's stuff, I really loved it this year, but it was heckin' expensive. So we're gonna go see what we can find. We've got some lovely fall weather. All of our trees suddenly realized last night, like, oh hey, it's fall now. And all the leaves fell off. So we have these glorious golden leaves everywhere. It's really pretty. It has finally cooled down enough for me to wear sweaters. And I can finally mask when I go in the grocery store right now because I can't mask in the summer because my chronic illness means that I can't regulate my body temperature. So I can either not go out at all or I can go out without a mask because if I wear a mask, I will just pass out within about 5 minutes because I've overheated so badly. In Washington, they don't turn the AC up to such insane levels as they did in Ohio. So like if I went somewhere in Ohio, like to a restaurant or to a movie, I would always bring a sweater with me, even in the summer. Out here, you don't do that. Like even in the winter, it's usually not that cold. So it is finally a decent temperature for me to mask when I go shopping, which makes me feel better. And I think will make everybody else feel better because our rather sudden weather change has caused a little bit of sinus trouble for me. So I've had a little bit of a cough the last couple of days and I'm not sick. It's just allergies because I'm allergic to everything. But anyway, that's a ramble and let's go shopping. Okay, we are back in the car. I hit Joann's and Michael's hoping that I could get some clearance Halloween, and I didn't really find much. Both were very picked over. But at Michael's, I did get one of these lanterns. This was 60% off, and what I can do is stick one of my jar candles in here and then stick the candle holder onto a shelf, and I can safely burn a candle without my noodle cat knocking it over and catching himself on fire, because that's something I'm very paranoid about. And then at Joann's, I did not go in intending to buy yarn, but I've used up most of my cotton stash on cat sweaters, and I have some more like bath stuff I want to make. And also, wouldn't this color look stunning on Bast? So I got a cone of cotton dish yarn for that. And then I know that the Big Twist has been making a splash on social media lately because they have their Pride yarns that recently came out. So I got 2 skeins of the asexual colorway called Community, just because us Arrow Aces usually get ignored by Pride capitalism. So if you put out something that is Arrow Ace, I will buy it because it is both Arrow Ace and kind of goth. So those are my purchases. We are now off to the grocery store. I'm gonna check to see what they have in the way of sale Halloween stuff. I might even splurge and look at notebooks. I don't know yet. We're going to see. I did get a little bit overheated in Michael's with the mask on, so we'll see how it goes in Target. Okay, we're back home. Didn't find anything super interesting at Target. For some reason, our area doesn't seem to do Halloween very well. I don't know why, but we tend to be the last area to get Halloween stuff from any retailer just across the board. We're the first ones to get rid of it. It's just kind of the way this area is. But I did find, I was looking for the pumpkin spice chai latte mix from Taizao at Target, and instead what I found was a gingerbread version. Unfortunately, it's decaf. But I thought I would give it a try, and yes, I put my Christmas drink in my spooky Halloween mug because all of my mugs are spooky Halloween mugs or cats. Okay, so the ginger and molasses is coming through strong, and I noticed when I poured it out that it is a little, it's chunkier than the regular chai. I do think it'll do better hot rather than cold, so I think that this might be, the remainder of the container is going to be my evening drink. It doesn't have coffee in it, it has black tea in it. Otherwise, it just tastes very similar to a regular chai latte. I don't think I'll buy it again, but we'll see. I want to try it hot first. So we're back. We are in my writing space, aka my everything else space as well, as you can see. So because I'm going back to work on Monday, I want to get 2 chapters done before then. Which for me, that is chapters 5 and 6 are the next 2 on my list. I want to get those copied and rewritten, edited into the new document. First, I have a couple of messages that I need to send, so let's get started on that. Good morning. It is Friday. I decided I didn't feel like sitting at my desk this morning, so I'm going to work on my laptop on my bed. Still waiting to hear back on the new temp job because it looks like my background check has been pushed out, so I may not be starting on Monday. So this week has been full of just ups and downs the last couple of days, and it's a little crazy. That is one of the drawbacks of being a temp, is you never really know what's going to happen next or when. So I would like to go with the flow, but I really need to know when the flow starts and also what the parking situation is, because I'm a millennial and an introvert. Okay, so we're making good progress. Chapter 6 did not need as much work as I thought it would. But yesterday I added a ton to chapter 5. Um, so I've got a whole new scene in there. There's new twists that I added. So chapter 5 is eventually going to get split because it is a hefty chunk right now. But chapter 6 mainly followed the same trajectory. I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I'm almost halfway done with the book. I'm actually more than that based on word count, but these chapters down here are significantly shorter. So I will go through and break up the chapters into shorter sections, but that is something that is going to wait for a later edit. But this is where we are so far. So I've added quite a few words. And I'm trying to get this blue line all the way up to 60,000. That is my minimum goal. Right now, I think for the entire book, I'm still only at like 38,000, which is not good. But that's why I'm doing this specific type of edit and trying to add so much to it. So that is where we are at the end of Friday. Okay, good morning. It is Saturday. It is extremely dreary and rainy outside, and it's delightful. I'm very happy about that, actually. I think we even had some thunder early this morning. So today is a work day, so I've been putting together my to-do list. I have a couple of admin things that I want to do really quick, and then we're going to work on chapter 7 today at home because that really does better with 2 monitors. And then there is a write-in at my local library at 2 o'clock, and it's for National Novel Writing Month. I'm not actually participating in NaNoWriMo this year. I don't want to give myself any like deadlines or goals for the month just because I have been having such a hard time with the fatigue and exhaustion and focus and everything. So I'm participating in the forums, but I'm not allowing myself to like put in, this is the book I'm working on and I'm trying to hit 50,000 words, or I'm a nano rebel and I'm trying to hit 25,000 words. I'm not doing that. I will probably end up hitting those goals, we're hitting those benchmarks, but I'm not aiming for that. I'm trying to make this a very relaxed time for myself because I'm trying to refocus so that I can spend more time on marketing. And I'm trying to not follow the ADHD fairy to all these different things that have been happening. I don't know if that's actually going to work or not, but I'm trying to stay a little bit more focused and do fewer things more intensely, if that makes sense. So I have a list of like blog posts that I want to get done while I'm at the write-in and stuff that's easier to do on one screen. And then I'm just going to work on editing that cozy mystery when I'm at home and when I can dual screen it, because I can do the whole retyping thing on one screen, but it's a pain in the butt. And I would rather dual screen that. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so chapter 7 is done, and so far I have added 6,000 words to this book, roughly. I do still have more that I want to add. According to my first draft on here, I have like 30 pages left, which doesn't feel right. I might have lost a draft somewhere, so I need to find that. But I definitely know that I have a lot more that can be added to this now. And I think that it is very reasonable for me to hit 60,000 words on this draft, especially once we get into the remaining chapters. I am at the point where things are going to start moving a little bit more quickly now that we're past the halfway point. I'm just hoping that the pacing at the front of the book isn't too slow. I do still need to go back and change where my chapters start. What I like to do is I don't like to have a clean break at the end of a chapter. I like to do like a mini cliffhanger so that you keep reading. So I know that I have at least 2 chapters that need to be split up, and that will happen in the next draft. But I'm pretty happy with the way this is coming out. I'm going to step away from the computer, maybe do some reading and some knitting, and then I have the writing group at 2 o'clock to try and get some blog posts and stuff done. And I might work a little bit on chapter 8 then. But that's where we are. Okay, good morning. It is Sunday. We're a little bit rough this morning because I didn't sleep that great. My back is bothering me today, and I didn't sleep a whole lot because of it. Also, this thing wanted to lay on me all night, which doesn't work so well when you are someone who tosses and turns a lot in their sleep. Look at that guilty face. Okay, so I ended up, why is my keyboard not working? I ended up working some more on the book last night, and I got most of the way through chapter 8. I basically rewrote the whole thing. I still have a little bit of chapter 8 left to do, I think 4 or 5 pages. So I'm going to get started on that, and then I will check in and show you some of the changes that I made last night, because so far in this book I've added 3 new twists, 2 more characters, and chapter 8 is where it all starts to kind of come together. I have another chapter that's going to be split into at least 2 parts, so let's get started. Okay, so I finished up with chapter 8, and I have some notes down here of what I want to do for later. And then this is where we are on the word count. So I've now got an extra 10,000 words in this new draft compared to the old one. And my old draft was only 39,000 words. So I'm not even done yet, and I've already exceeded the word count from the previous draft, which is good. I knew that I wanted to add another chapter to the original draft, and I'm thinking that I don't have as many chapters as I thought I did. Usually my first drafts are 13 chapters. That's not intentional. That's just the way it usually works out for me in the way that my stories are paced. But this is where we are right now. So it looks like I will not be starting the new job tomorrow, but I know it is going to happen next week. We're still waiting on some of the paperwork to go through, but I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog right here. I'm still not trying to do anything for Nano. I'm participating in the forums. You can find me there. I'll put my username down below. But I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog right here. And I don't know when my next writing vlog is going to be, because I typically can't write very much when I'm also working full-time. That's just the way it is. So here we are. Thanks for joining me, and I hope that you stay safe and healthy and have something cute and cuddly to snuggle with, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao!